tried everything to lose weight, except for being consistent. I'm still in my before era and I've never leaped. Join me on this journey to watch me leap and maybe leap with me. We leap together. Welcome to the Deficit Project. Hi, I'm Asmita and I've been overweight pretty much all my life. I've just turned 32 and this time I'm doing something different. I'm testing whether a pure calorie deficit without any hacks, without denying myself a list of things, would actually work. I have lost weight before. Keto worked, slow carb worked, but I never sustained any of those. I think it's because I was denied something I love, which is carbs. But then again, I've never really been consistent long enough to really know whether something would have worked for me long term or not. The Deficit Project is for anyone who's in the same boat as me, who wants to do something long term and consistent. I've built a full 360-degree system around it, which covers fallbacks, basic plan, what will I do, what will I not do, what can I do, what's the bare minimum basic that I need to do to show up. It's great that the GLP-1 drug like Wegovy and Mounjaro are in the market now, but ultimately they're diet suppressant. And right now, my number one enemy is not cravings. It's lack of a system. It's just inconsistency. It's not showing up. Because showing up requires many micro decisions on a daily basis. But if those decisions were taken for you in advance, would you then show up? But it's easier said than done. One sickness, one injury, and I can easily fall off the wagon. But I want to run one fully structured experiment. So what is this program? This isn't just one of those eat less 6-month programs. We're not eating less and we're definitely not denying ourselves food. This is a full reset of how I track, measure, plan, and execute fat loss. No fancy diets, no complicated rules. Just a structured system built around the one thing that all scientific plans agree on: calorie deficit. Why calorie deficit? Well, here's the math. Around 7,700 calories lead to 1 kg of weight loss. So if you're in deficit of 500 calories per week, that would lead to around 450 grams of 0.45 kg of loss per week. But every time in the past I've been on that journey, I don't know why I would not sustain it. I would get stalled after a month of progress and it never made sense. But my hypothesis is that it's because I was not tracking it. This time it's different because I will be tracking it. But this does not have to mean bland and boring food. Ain't nobody got time for that. We're going to uncover the wealth of high protein diets that exist on the internet thanks to the wonderful content creators that exist that make low calorie, high protein diets, and I invite you to follow along. So what we're going to create is basically a playbook which is yours, made by you, for you, and it's completely tailored to you. And I'm covering everything in one video. I have no sponsors, so there are going to be no breaks in the video. I hope something out of this whole thing comes out for you. Okay, so step 1 is running a situational analysis. The whole point of this exercise is what gets measured gets improved. Here we are basically recording our current situation. The tools that we'll be needing are a notebook or a Notion board, a digital BIA weighing scale. You can easily find this on Amazon or any pharmacy these days. It's basically a weighing scale that sends tiny electric currents through your body and estimates various body metrics. The link to the one I use is in the description. A measuring tape, the health app on your phone, and completely optional but great to have is a smartwatch. Alright, so first of all, we're going to make a table and write down our current weight, our body mass index. BMI is basically a measurement of how lean you are. You can use a BMI calculator available online. The link to one is also in description. 20 to 25 is the normal range and anything above 25 is obesity. Average of your weekly steps. This is something that you can find in your health app on the phone. Your current body fat percentage can be found on your digital weighing scale. It's an optional one, but in my weighing scale app, one of the metrics that I can track is protein. Turns out I'm deficient in it. So that's something I will be tracking also. Another optional metric to track is resting heart rate and VO2 max. VO2 max is an indicator of your cardiorespiratory fitness, which is tracked through a wearable device like a smartwatch or a Whoop band. So if you have them, you will have this data in your health app. Let me know in the comments if you want me to cover this in depth. Cool. Moving on our table, we will note down our measurements. So take a measuring tape and take measurements of both of your arms, thighs, waist and hip. One of the metrics that we'll also be measuring is waist to hip ratio. To get that number, simply divide the number that you got for your waist by your hip, and that's your waist to hip ratio. So what you have right now in front of you are all the metrics that we will be tracking on a weekly basis. This is the output of the effort that you will put in on a daily basis. So what we are really trying to see here is that it's possible that we may find that our weight is not changing over a long period of time, but our measurements are, and that could be a great reason to keep going. Another optional thing to do if you want to get deeper is to get blood tests done. For example, I got my blood test done and I found that my lipid profile, which basically is how your heart health is doing, was out of whack. The good cholesterol was low, the bad cholesterol was high, and turns out I'm deficient in vitamin D. No surprises there, most of us are. But knowing this helps me tailor the diet that I will be following. So for me, I clearly need to do more heart healthy diet, and that's something I will be focusing on. Again, completely optional, you don't have to do it. That's it. That's all the data that we needed. Next, we will use an online basal metabolic calculator to find out the amount of calories we need to take in to basically lose at least 0.45 kgs a week. The link to this tool is in my description. For me, my daily target is going to be 1400 calories. Now that we have a solid understanding of where we're at, we will now move on to the objectives. These are my goals. But of course, make this your own. My goal is to lose 15 kgs while retaining my muscle mass, improve my lipid profile, improve my running speed without injuries, get stronger. So one of the cool things I want to do is I want to be able to do a push-up, a pull-up, and stand up from a sitting position. I can't do any of these three things right now. I also want to get a nice visible bicep definition. I think that would be pretty cool to look at. And of course, stay hydrated. Personal target is to drink 3 liters of water per day. These objectives are everything. This is what will keep us going on those hard days. But while these objectives are everything, it's not the only thing that will make me keep going. One of the big things that I've included in this project is the best part, which is towards the end. So please stick around because it's going to be chef's kiss rewards. One tip I would give to you when you make your own objectives is to include a number. It's already time bound. We're trying to achieve this in a certain amount of time. But if you add a number, it also becomes measurable, and that makes your goals that much more specific. Alright, that was objectives. The next part is the third part, which is the strategy, which is more like a guiding principle for doing this diet. Like, what's the big idea? Alright, let me introduce you, if you don't already know about it, to the fat loss pyramid. We start with the most critical element at the base and go to the least important element at the top. At the base is calories, which is 1400 calories for me. For you, it might be different. Up next is macros. My split is 30, 35, 35. 35% protein, 35% fat, and 30% carbs. It is a bit aspirational, but this is my way to ensure that I take enough protein. Third, and it's actually the most important thing, it's daily movement. 10k steps a day. On my worst, 6 to 8k's would be allowed. Up next is training. I will be going to the gym 3 days a week, going for a run 3 days a week, and going to swim 1 day a week. One of the days of the week will be complete rest. So there will be one day when I'll be both running and swimming, or going to the gym and swimming. So that's something I have to put in my calendar. And finally comes supplements. While I am very big on supplements and I have a huge stack of supplements, something that I will probably share with you in my later videos, but it has nothing to do with weight loss. It's more for my overall nutrition, but it has nothing to do with fat loss. So as per this pyramid, calorie deficit is non-negotiable. Right. Next is intermittent fasting. I will do intermittent fasting. 16 hours of fast, 8 hours of eating window. I think I will aim to do 12 p.m. to 8 p.m. To keep my sanity and make this fun, I will have one treat meal per week, where I will basically eat whatever I want for any one meal. But even on this day, I will have to be under 1400 calorie limit. It's possible that my macros not get hit completely, which is fine. That's the sacrifice. Finally, for the best part, there are milestone awards. So you will set your own milestones and you will give yourself the award that you think is deserving because you reached there. Make it really, really appealing. I think it really matters. But these milestones have to be input-based, not output-based. We'll cover this in depth later. So this was the strategy section. Moving on to the tactics. How will this happen? Well, we have the data on us, we have the objectives covered, we have the big idea of what do we want. But how will we do it is what we will cover now. The tools we need to move forward with this is an app called MyFitnessPal. The free version works to track your food. And if you connect that app with your health app, then you can also track your daily steps within that one single app. So you won't have to do multiple apps per day. On our day 0, we will record all the metrics that we covered in the data tracking situational analysis earlier. Use the calculator online to find our daily calorie intake. You can enter those details into MyFitnessPal app, and actually a really cool thing, a really handy thing is that you can have the widget of that app on your home screen, or more like on your lock screen, so you can immediately get access to that app the minute you pick up your phone. That makes logging food in it very, very easy. It's getting a bit dark in here. Pretty. This is actually the setup of my gaming room, but now you get to see it. Right, so the number one part of this whole thing is food. We're going to create a tracker with weekly meal planning. I've created a recipe tracker in my Notion dashboard, which covers a bunch of dishes categorized by breakfast, lunch, dinner, snack, whatever meal they fit in. And they have their calories, carbs, protein, fat already listed down, and a link to the video of that recipe. All of them are internet recipes. And there's also a little bonus where I track whether I made this recipe or not, and whether I liked it or did not like it, so I want to make it again or not. That makes things so simple. This is also something you can do in Notion, and if you use Notion, I've done a lot of hard work into making this. It's not that pretty, but it works. It does everything. So if you want my Notion board, just let me know. So we have this recipe tracker with us. Now, once a week, we'll sit down and we'll do a week-long meal planning. A simple, stupid hack, just share your recipe tracker with ChatGPT and ask it to create your meal plan. And there you go. Your meal plan for the week is ready. Most of these dishes can also be made in bulk, which means if you make it once, you can at least eat it for the next 2 or 3 days. At least one of the meals of the day. The first 2 to 3 weeks are just going to go in finding our balance. So that's fine. We'll do that. But this is a great starting point. Right, food is sorted. Next up is movement. So as I said, walks are critical. I put my walks on the calendar. I literally block my calendar. And for my workouts, I use ChatGPT to help me create a 3-day workout plan. It can help me achieve my movement and strength goal. The ones that I mentioned earlier. Number 3, there's an app called Heavy. Link to it also in my description, and you can just use the free version. It's an incredible app to track your workouts. Just put in your plan, whatever workout you want to do once, and then you can easily track it. So when I hit the gym, I don't have to refer to my notes to say, oh, what workout first? Oh, what workout after? It's incredible. I'm also training to run right now, and for that I'm using the app called 0 to 5K. I started running 2 months ago, and my goal was to run 5K on my birthday, and I did that, and I achieved that goal 2 days before my birthday. It was incredible, but I ran my 5K in 40 minutes. So now my aim is to do that within 35 minutes. So that's the gap I'm trying to fill, which means that I'm training to run faster. Okay, next up is tracking. I have a journal section in my deficit project dashboard on Notion where I will be writing how I'm feeling, regarding this process. Sometimes I may feel bloated, and that will go on the journal. Mood, how are the clothes fitting, motivation level, one-liners are also enough. And next up, and finally, the weekly check-ins. Let's go back to the tracker that we made earlier. So every week I will weigh myself and record all of that data in the tracker. MyFitnessPal also gives a progress report, which is something to track and review before doing the weekly meal planning. This big project folder is going to be the heartbeat of the project for the next 180 days. Finally to the good part, which is the reward tracker. So my weekly treat meals are already in a way a reward for making it through the week. But we're running a marathon here and I need bigger checkpoints. So the milestones that I'm putting in are based on my input and not on my output. What does that mean? I ate a deficit of 5 kg equivalent. Not that I lost 5 kgs. I ate a deficit of 10 kgs. Not that I lost 10 kgs. I did 1 pull-up, 5 pull-ups, 10 pull-ups, all of these are milestones. 1 push-up, 5 push-ups, 10 push-ups, all of these are milestones. So if you want to know what I'll be giving myself for doing these things, you need to subscribe to my account. And finally, this YouTube channel is going to be my accountability partner. I will share daily vlogs, recipe videos, stuff that I'm liking, not liking, a little bit of motivation, which I probably am giving to myself because, yeah. So those will mostly be short form content, and I will do a weekly deep dive on YouTube, like a lot like this one. That was a lot. This was my all-comprehensive overview and deep dive into the deficit project. I am so excited to begin this journey online. I would love to know if I can answer any questions. If you want to do this project with me and want access to my Notion dashboard, just let me know in the comments, because I don't want to be presumptuous and be like, yeah, lots of people will want to do it along with me, so I'm already sharing it. Maybe nobody cares. And if you don't care, that's fine. I'm doing it for myself anyway, and also for my partner who wants access to all the wonderful recipes that I will be trying out. So it's really for the two of us. But if you are joining along, you're very welcome. And in fact, thank you for watching. In the next video, I'll share the real numbers, my Notion template, the whole thing, and my exact plan for week 1. Let's see what 180 days of real consistency looks like. See you on the other side. Have a great week. Bye. So subscribe to the channel. Yeah, I just had that moment. I did.